Now, let's talk about the most important page on your website, and that is your home page. Studies show that the majority of your traffic is going to land on that page before they visit some other place on your website. You've thought through some of the functionality that you want to include on your website and some of the pages that you're going to need to set up for that functionality. Now, what I want you to do is go decide how your front page, home page is going to connect your visitor to some of those different pieces. Here's exactly how I recommend that you do it. I want you to start a document, whether that is on your computer, which I always recommend, ideally in the cloud. Setting it up as a Google Doc can be a really easy way to do that, or putting it in something like Dropbox. And I want you to start visiting some websites and looking at their homepage and seeing what you like. I'm going to link you to a few different places online that have some award-winning designs to help get you started. But I also want you to look at least 2 or 3 competitors in your direct field, and then also go look at some unrelated websites. Just think of a company that you like and go search for their website. Here's the information that I want you to collect. First, copy the URL of the website that you visit so that as you move out of the planning phase, which we're in now, into the doing phase, you have reference to where you went and what you looked at. Along with that URL, make notes of what you liked on that page. If you know how to use your snipping tool on a PC, Mac has a similar screenshot capability. You can even clip pieces of the website that you like and paste them right in your document if you're that techie. A common structure with website homepages now, and again, we talk a lot about how our audience is used to seeing things a certain way, and it can help them navigate the website better if they're finding a similar structure on yours. It's very common now for the homepage to have kind of blocks of content or functionality. Each different block either presents some information or it connects to another place on the website where more information or functionality resides. As you review these websites, look at how their blocks are structured specifically for functionality that's similar to what you want to include on your website. If you want to go the low tech route, which can help you be a little bit more creative, grab a piece of paper or 2 or 3, however many you need, grab a pencil or markers or whatever works for you. If you think about it, a lot of websites, they're long, which is much like a piece of paper. What I actually want you to do is just tear the paper into sections. You can cut it with scissors if you're a little bit more OCD and you want it to have a nice, neat edge, but get your sections. You may want a few of different sizes. So I've got one that's taller and 2 that are shorter. This one's kind of curved, but that's okay. What you can do then is go visit a website you like and say, for example, that I want my blogs connected to my homepage, which I suggest if you're going to have blogs, there's an easy way to feed them there. We're going to walk you through that. That's one of the sections that you need, because keeping people on your website longer, you're more likely to convert them into a customer down the road. So if you're writing blogs, you definitely want to have that connected somewhere on your homepage. Where you put it exactly is going to depend upon your business goals and your goals for your website. But look at these websites that you've noted. Find the general layout of how they present their blog. The layout may be a little bit restricted based upon the plugin we use. Some of these companies you're going to be looking at have in-house developers that can custom code all their stuff. That's great. You may not be able to do that, but get an idea of what you like and just draw it literally right here on the strip. That's going to be the section for your blog. You want a colored background? Do that. You want a picture with text under it? Do that. However it looks, this doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to help you visualize. So whatever that works to get it done, do that. You want to go the techie route? take the screenshot and paste it into a document, and you'll see exactly what you'd like to see. Assume, for example, that another one you want to have functionality wise, maybe you have events that you're planning. Go look at a competitor or another award-winning website and see how they present their events on their homepage. Grab your next slip of paper for your section of your website, draw it kind of an outline of how you like how the events might be presented, or grab a screenshot and paste it into your document. Another one that's usually a little bit bigger, so we'll work with the bigger piece of paper, is what they call the hero image at the top. You'll know these because when you first visit the website, there's usually a large image at the top, often with some kind of text or maybe a couple buttons laid over it. Sometimes it's a video. On my home page of this course's website, there's a video there with a few buttons. That section, always at the top, is called a hero, usually a little bit larger. It usually takes up pretty much what they call the viewport when you first visit a website, and basically the whole screen at that point. It doesn't have to take up that much room, but it's pretty standard that it will. You can also decide, do you want something deeper or do you want something a little bit shorter? Grab a bigger piece of paper and roughly sketch out what you might like that section to look at. Keep in mind, the first thing people see on your website is going to be the piece getting the most traction. So your most important pieces of integration, taking people from your home page to somewhere else on your website, needs to be right there, what we call above the fold. Also keep in mind that people tend to look at things on the right side of the screen first, despite the fact that here in the United States and a lot of other English and other language speaking countries, we read from left to right. Our eyes actually still go to the right first. So you need to be strategic about what you put on that right-hand side. Here's a couple of examples. I have a client who going through a website redesign, and one of her most important goals for her company at this point is getting people onto her email list. So in this hero, we have a great picture of her, beautiful background, has a little bit of text explaining really briefly what she does, 5 to 7 words explaining what she does. And in the right side of that hero image there, we have embedded her email sign up. So that top right piece of real estate on your website is the most important piece. You can also, if you want, get a little strip to kind of plan out what your menu is going to look like. Logo, always top left. That's the place people will click more. And again, our goal is to keep people on your website longer. And if they're on the blog or your event page or somewhere else and need to go back to your home page, you want them to click that logo. And studies have proven that the logo on the top left will get a lot more clicks than a logo centered in your menu. You don't have to have everything on your home front page. Don't think that it's everything in the kitchen sink. The pieces most critical to your business goals and the goals of your website to take people along a path from visitor to converting to a customer are the pieces that need to be included. Then also at the bottom, customary to have a footer. You can use another strip to sketch out what you might want your footer to contain. Again, information and functionality, or you can clip a screenshot of some of these other websites you visit. The great thing then is that you're going to take all of these pieces, and other than your hero, which goes at the top, you can lay them out on a table in front of you after you've sketched out kind of what's going to go there, right blog, right events, so that you know which section is which. And you can arrange them and move them around and manipulate them to put them in the order that makes the most sense to you. A really great thing, we're going to walk you through how you can move those entire sections live, but it's going to be 1,000 times easier for you to plan that before you ever get into editing your page. Similarly, if you're tech savvy enough to have been taking screenshots, you can grab those and move them around on the document that you're playing with as well to get an idea of what pieces of functionality you want on your home page. We're not worried about exact colors yet. We're not worried about the exact design, although I do want you to have in mind some of the design elements that you're most drawn to when you're looking at these other sites, whether it's solid backgrounds, video background, white background, very neat and clean. Keep all that in mind, but right now I want you to plan the different pieces of functionality for your homepage and get that somewhat lined out. It's okay if you change it later, but we've got to start moving forward, having that idea ready to go as we continue with this course, because we're going to delve into editing that page very quickly. And it's going to be harder on you if you don't have an idea about what you want. And most importantly, what you want your visitors to do when they land on your page. Take the time you need to go through the researching of competitors and other award-winning websites that you like the design of. The research you do now is going to give you a much better website to properly reflect the professionalism of your business than if you just go in there and start throwing things together. I know you're excited about getting your website done and you want to get right into the meat and potatoes of designing your home page. But you really got to do the planning first. It's an important part of this process. So don't skip over this. Gift yourself with the time of going and doing that research, and you're going to be much happier with your end result. Now we're delving into the functionality that you need on your website. It's almost unlimited, but I'm going to walk you through some of the standard components we see most often on our clients' websites. Obviously, a blog. Not all companies have a blog. WordPress has that capability built in. So if you're going to have a blog, obviously that functionality is going to be there. Another standard functionality is a way to collect email addresses and get those people onto your email list. I'm going to be walking you through how you can do that very easily with free plugins and a free MailChimp account. Although the same concept works with a lot of the major email providers, and they each have their own plugin out there. You'll be able to find those. That's usually the first step in converting someone from a visitor to a purchaser to a customer, because if they don't buy today, they may buy eventually, and having them on your email list is the best way to get it done. I literally had one client who I had answered a question for. I literally had one client come along to me, someone that I had answered a really easy marketing question for years before, and didn't remove him from my email list. He was still getting emails. He didn't choose to unsubscribe. And it was about 3.5 years later that he was at the point of adding a new side income stream and needed a website. And who did he come to? Me, because he had regularly been getting emails from me about marketing. So I was top of mind through all that time. So don't discount people just because they didn't turn into a customer immediately. Yeah, you want to keep your email list clean, but the most important thing is having a way for people to sign up for it. That's a functionality you probably want on your website. Having a way to contact you, that will be built into several places. You just need to decide, do you want to exclude any of the normal ways of phone, email, contact form on your website? What works best for you, and you want to make sure that that functionality is built in as well. Events, especially after COVID-19, a lot of companies moved to some virtual events. So having the functionality to host the information for these events, put them on a calendar, have that calendar show on your website, allow people to be able to purchase tickets, whether those are free or paid. That functionality is something that some people want, not all. Don't try to force your business into that box if it doesn't work for you. You can just skip that part when we get to it. Lead funnels. All businesses have marketing funnels, so don't let that scare you. But when you can automate pieces of that, it can make your life a lot easier. So if you plan on having some type of lead generation item, a freemium, a freebie, for example, a PDF, and you want people to be able to claim that PDF by giving you their email address, there's a really simple plugin we'll add that allows you to have that kind of download. It will automatically give people their PDF in exchange for their email address and automatically put them on your email list. A little bit more complicated if you want full e-commerce. You want to actually sell products or services on your website, or you want to use Amazon's affiliate links to sell some products on your website that you're getting a small commission from Amazon for doing. All of that functionality is available through WooCommerce, which is a free plugin you can add to the website for the e-commerce portion. It can be extended all on its own, much like WordPress has tons of capability you can add. WooCommerce has its own as well, but getting started with a simple basic WooCommerce is something that we will walk through. If you need people to be able to book appointments with you, you can integrate the scheduling capability using something like Calendly or one of the other options and add those booking buttons right on your website. If you want to host videos or host audio, maybe that someone can download, connect to your podcast, you need to be thinking through all of those pieces of function that you want your website to be able to help you handle and house for you. There may be functions for your unique business that I didn't discuss. And that would be expected. If we don't touch upon that exact one,